Based on the study conducted by the Institute for Economics and Peace in 2019, the Philippines is the nation most susceptible to climate change. The Philippines had a 0.62 degrees Celsius increase in the yearly average mean temperature from 1958 to 2014, with the said degree of change rising with time. In order to address this, the United Nations came up with the Sustainable Development Goal number 13, entitled Climate Action, which aims to enhance the worldwide response to the threat of climate change by limiting the global warming trend this century to no more than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial temperatures.
But how did climate change come about, and why are we amidst it today? Sadly, research shows that human activity is the main cause behind this issue. Firstly, burning fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and coal for commercial and industrial pursuits, which release increased levels of carbon dioxide that heat up the atmosphere. Another cause is cutting down trees, which leads to us losing their ability to absorb carbon dioxide and regulate temperature. And lastly, sowing crops using fertilizers that release nitrous oxide and expanding livestock, which generates methane. This and nitrous oxide being two greenhouse gases that are even more potent than carbon dioxide.
Now, we are sadly facing the effects of climate change. These include the increasing global temperatures, melting glaciers, and rising sea levels that harm not only humans, but also the wildlife. We also experience intense typhoons, floods, storm surges, and droughts that threaten the planet, particularly the Philippines and its agricultural productivity. Last but not least, these catastrophic weather events put millions of lives in danger and raise the likelihood of further war, famine, and poverty.
But let us not lose hope. It is not enough for us to be knowledgeable and aware about climate change, but acknowledge our responsibility to take action in order to address and resolve it. As stewards of God's creation, we can support and invest in sustainable and renewable energy sources. The implementation of renewable energy in our homes, transport, and everyday consumption have a drastic impact on reducing carbon emissions and use of fossil fuels to help mitigate climate change. Next is to restore nature and protect forests by joining groups and movements that fight against climate change and companies that cut down trees on an industrial scale. Help as an individual by planting trees at the right places and organizing cleanups. Lastly, reduce overconsumption, especially of harmful products to the environment such as plastic. Practice recycling and the use of reusable and eco-friendly products such as eco bags and reusable bottles and utensils. Moreover, as students pursuing the architecture profession, we can also take action as future architects. Firstly is to adapt and retrofit current and existing buildings, as the complete demolition of buildings and new construction results in a big carbon footprint. Retrofitting is to upgrade existing buildings through new technology and features that aim to improve its energy efficiency, thermal performance, and other adaptation strategies to the effects of climate change.
Next to that is by implementing restorative architecture, also known as regenerative architecture, that aims not only to reduce the building materials, but also to regenerate, to operate, and reverse the damage caused by construction. As much as we want our communities to be developed to enhance people's well-being, regeneration and biodiversity restoration are both equally crucial to maintain the city's long-term viability.
Another way where architecture could help is through the use of biomimicry, a methodology that draws inspiration from and imitates the solutions that nature provides to address human design issues. Including biomimicry in our design process could benefit the society as a whole by enabling us to better adapt to context and climate, enhance ecosystem services, and embody design resilience.
Furthermore, we could also promote the use of renewable energy. Aside from constructing an ultra-low energy consumption establishments, utilizing the smart design for construction quality, It is also advantageous to consider balancing the remainder of its power consumption with the renewables. Let our clients know that renewables are accessible and efficient for their buildings. Hence, it will benefit not only the environment but also themselves.
Last is to recognize our responsibility as future architects to practice and promote eco-friendly design, because taking into consideration the environment is not optional but an essential facet in taking climate action. We can do this by creating designs that utilize local and sustainable materials, implement passive design with natural light and ventilation, and embrace nature with the integration of green spaces. With all that being said, let us not simply wait around for the effects of climate change to worsen and instead be proactive. Join us as we come together to
Hashtag Take Action Today.